Oh, Tamra. All this episode did was confirm what us audience members already knew about your ass. You're still very low vibrational. You're a rat, a liar, and you can't take any accountability.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. All right, y'all. The Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode 6. The voodoo that you do. I think I just made that up. Anyway, this is gonna be a quick review because I got stuff to do this morning. I gotta get to work and I gotta go return these videotapes. Anyway, so we're still in New Orleans with the ladies. Not a whole lot happened. But some interesting information did get revealed in this episode. So I'm just gonna get straight to the meat and potatoes. So the ladies meet up. They end up doing this like dog parade, Mardi Gras parade thing that Emily organized. That was cute. After that, they go to the Marie Laveau voodoo shop. I noticed they changed it. They're calling it Bloody Mary's now. You know what's funny? So they go into this voodoo shop. The lady was very theatrical. They're gonna make voodoo dolls. Shannon, Tamra, and Gretchen said that it was demonic and some other shit and left. It's not demonic. I wish people understood and knew voodoo. Um, and understood that it's not. That's anyway, I ain't got time to get into all that, but I get it. They're Christian and whatever. But so they leave. The three of them are out walking, and of course, it's the three pair that you wouldn't even think would be together because Gretchen ain't feeling Tamara like that. So anyway, in this scene, Tamara, they're all talking about Katie. Tamra decides to reveal that she heard from that blogger that Katie has sat down with, the Kiki Monroe woman, because apparently Katie sat down and said a lot of stuff about the ladies, including Tamra. But so Tamra was reached out by two people. She can't reveal who they are, of course. And she says that Katie told her that Gretchen told Katie that Tamra roofied her, referring to the naked wasted night. So Gretchen's like, what? And Shannon's like, what? And Gretchen is visibly stunned by this. Like you could tell that really got to her. So of course they're kikiing about Katie. But Tamra, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. And this scene really started to show how of an ain't shit ass person that you are because you knew what you were doing with that. So this was her way of trying to try to be cool with Tamara again. And so before all of that, they were talking about like they need to get to a better place, blah, blah, blah. Tamara actually low-key kind of makes up with Shannon. Even though Shannon, I still think you should tread lightly with her. I respect the fact that Shannon told her, like, I don't know, every time we do this, something goes wrong. So she's treading lightly, but the way Shannon blindly believed Tamara in this scene over Katie was wild too, because here's the reality of this situation. Katie is not believable, and neither is Tamara. We have two of the biggest liars on the show trying to speak their truth, and it's hard to believe them because they trail of lies. And unfortunately, Tamara, you've been on the show longer, so we've been seeing your bullshit for years, over a decade. Documentation of your fuck shit. But okay, girl. So of course, Gretchen's like wrecked. So the other ladies don't know what's going on because they over there making voodoo dolls and stuff. So they get back to the hotel, and Gretchen is talking to Katie and Jen about what happened in the park, wherever they were at, when she was talking to Tamra and Shannon. And she tells them what Tamra said. So Katie is like, I never said that. I never said that. I don't know. It's hard. It's so hard because I want to believe her. Katie, I don't want this lie to be on you. I don't want you to be on this lie, but let's keep it real. What you did to Shannon was not cool. And earlier in the episode, actually earlier I skipped this because I skipped over a lot of shit, but they were all going to some function and Shannon was like, oh, if Katie's going, I'm not going. She kept it 100. She's like, I don't want to be around her. So Katie ends up hanging out with the other ladies. So Shannon has made it abundantly clear she's not fooling with Katie. Which kind of sucks for Katie, but you kind of put yourself in this position. And anybody else notice Katie and her husband are fucking messy. The fact that her husband is very aware of everything is, I'm like, sir, you are way too plugged in to women's business, to quote Nene. Women, stop being a bitch. Anyway, little Tourette's there. But so anyway, they go to this dinner and Tamra is before they get to the dinner, Tamra shows up in Shannon's hotel room with a cup of not white beverage, child, clear beverage, which she refers to as water. And then she's like, well, I'm nervous, Shannon Bador. I don't know what I'm walking into. You're nervous because it sounds like you're lying. Because if you weren't nervous, you would go in there with full confidence. Because you have to remember, in Tamra's mind, in this scene, Gretchen believes her. So in her head, they're going to this dinner to confront Katie. Boy, how the tables turn. So Shannon's like, well, let's just go down. Let's see what happens, Now, here's the other thing. Before that scene, again, back in the park, when Shannon and Tamra are talking, Tamra, of course, apologizes to her again and tells her, you're never going to see me drunk or wasted again, Shannon, because Shannon brings up how she attacked her last year. And my thing is, Tamra even said in her confessional about she understands her relationship with alcohol. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't understand a thing. You understand zilch when it comes to that alcohol intake. Because, girl, you was partaking and intaking a lot this episode, especially in this scene. So anyway, they leave the hotel room. They all go to this really nice, fancy hotel situation, and they go to this dinner in this private room. So they all get to the dinner first. Of course, Katie, Gretchen, and Jen are last. Tamra looks visibly stunned at the table because she's nervous. I bet you are nervous because you're going to see if this lie lands. Tamra, you have the mental capacity of a tweener, child. You, woo! Anyway, so they all arrive late, and the awkwardness ensues. They're sitting at the table, and Tamra appears to be a little bit tipsy nipsy, a little tinky winky. So she gets up and she's like, Tamra, Gretchen, can I talk to you real quick? So Gretchen, they go off to the side, and she says to Gretchen, like, I don't know, do you want me to bring this up at the table? Should I bring it up? And Gretchen's kind of like, okay, because Gretchen's looking at her like, girl, unbeknownst to you, darling, I don't believe you. So they go back to the table. It gets brought up. And of course, Katie's like, I never said that. Why would you make that up? They're kind of going back and forth. Tamra is getting visibly bothered because, baby, your lie is not landing. And maybe it isn't a lie. I don't know. Between you and Katie, I don't know who's telling the truth. But I tend to believe that you're more of a liar than Katie is because I've known you longer. As an audience member, I've known you longer. I know what you do. This is very on schedule, on par for your ass to do some shit like this. So Tamra is getting upset that no one's kind of believing her. So she starts getting kind of vicious, and the real Tamra comes out because when she likes to drink, that nasty, vicious, disgusting mouth of hers comes out. So she starts getting kind of extra, and Gina calls her out. Gina's like, why are you being difficult? You're over here being really nasty. You're cursing at people. This is my dinner. You need to act right. She basically tells Gina to fuck off. She doesn't say that, but she curses at her. And Gina, you're sloshed right now, Tamra. You're sloshed. And Tamra don't like that. The one thing about somebody that's drunk, and ask me, because I'm a recovering alcoholic myself, my ass used to get hella lit. I'm telling you, I was a pirate in another life. But one thing you don't say to a drunk is that they're drunk. They don't like that shit. I used to hate when people say that to me. But Tamra's face popped and screwed, baby. She was pop locking with that face when Gina said that shit to her. The word sloshed hit. Tamra gets up and leaves the table, and they're like, where is she going? She just leaves. She walks outside to the producer, and she's like, I just want to go home. And they're like, are you okay? I just want to go home. So they're all sitting around at the table, and they're talking about her. What's funny is right before she leaves, when they're all kind of going at her, Jen mentions the picture. She's like, so where's this picture? Because the whole episode, Jen is like, she showed my fat picture. Where's this picture at? So of course Jen brings that up at the table. So that on top of Katie denying it, Gretchen siding with Katie, it was a lot. That's why Tamara's ass got up from that table. So she's outside with the producer. They're all sitting around talking about the situation. They're like, she's a mess. And Gina was like, I'm sure she was mad because I said slosh, but like, this is my dinner. And you're not going to sit around and curse people out. Like, what? But this is who she really is. This is who Tamra Judge is, y'all. She's always been this way. She's been this way since day one. And for her to sit in that scene with Gretchen talking about it was a different time back then, I was with Simon. It's like, okay, but you're still the same though. So it really doesn't matter who you're with because you're always there and you're always the same. They bring up the naked wasted episode, which Tamara tries to say, I know that what me and Vicky was bad, but we were just trying to bring out her real character. Girl, we all saw the episode. That was not what it was giving. And the fact that you were encouraging your son to get with her in that scene while she was drunk, girl, stop. I remember that episode because they actually went into another room. And you're up there laughing and kikiing with Vicky. Girl, Tamara, karma's a bitch. It's a bitch. So Heather gets up to go see what's going on. She curses at Heather. And then that's when I'm sorry. Before Heather gets up, they're looking at her Instagram. Her overly emotional capacity of a fucking 12-year-old ass she put some shit on her Instagram story insinuating that she quit the show. And they're just like, so that's what causes Heather to get up to go talk to her. Heather goes over outside because now she's asking for a car to pick her up because she's claiming she quit the show. Heather tries going talking to her, and of course she curses at Heather. So Tamra leaves. She's in the car crying and rides off. Bye, bitches, or whatever. We know that's not true because we know that you came back to the show. So of course none of that. It was all for naught. It was another performance by Tamra Judge. So anyway, the episode kind of ends there with them at this dinner and her riding off. This episode cemented for me and probably for a few people that Tamra Judge is incapable of change. This is who you are. You've been like this for so long. Nothing's different. You might as well own this shit and try to go with it. And speaking of owning shit, I just want to throw in Katie real quick. Katie, you seem to think that all the dumbass shit that you've done by saying that you own it, that somehow that makes it okay. You owning it and apologizing makes it okay. You have repetitive behavior of your bullshit. To me, you and Tamara are the same. The only difference about you two is you don't get stupid drunk and insult people. You like to do that shit behind closed doors with bloggers. Anyway, this was an interesting episode. I'm not going to say it was a good episode because to me, not a whole lot happened. But we're really seeing how fucking ridiculous Tamra is. And Tamra, miss me with the Teddy shit. Please stop using Teddy as a storyline because that's what that shit feels like. I don't give a fuck how anybody feels about it. That is how I genuinely feel. I think she's bringing that shit up for sympathy because it takes heat off all the dumbass shit that she's been doing and probably will continue to do. Anyway, it's Friday, y'all. Let's have a great weekend. Let's be nice to each other. Let's stay hydrated. Let me get out of here and go to work so I can return these videotapes.